Hi guys, welcome to Talk Recapped. Subscribe this channel. Let's start the video. The story begins with a 58-year-old man named Inu, who moves to Tokyo with his family, hoping to provide them with all the comforts of life. Inu works tirelessly day and night, but despite his efforts, no one respects him, and not his family nor his colleagues. Each day, he commutes to work in overcrowded trains, only to be treated worse than an animal at the office. One evening, feeling dejected, Inu sits outside his home, reflecting on his miserable life. He stares at the fading sunlight and thinks about the countless sacrifices he has made for his family, only to be met with indifference. Suddenly, a dog approaches him, carrying a note attached to its collar. The note reveals that the dog's name is Nako, and its owner requests that someone take good care of it. Inu feels an instant connection with the dog, as though it understands his pain and loneliness. Inu's wife, Jenny, comes outside at that moment. When Inu tries to explain that the dog will now be a part of their family, Jenny immediately rejects the idea and orders Inu to get rid of it. Inu pleads with her, but Jenny remains unmoved, insisting that they cannot afford to take care of a dog when they are already struggling. The next day, Inu visits the doctor for a checkup and receives devastating news that he has cancer, and the disease has spread throughout his body, leaving him with only 3 months to live. Inu's world shatters as he processes the diagnosis. That night, he gathers the courage to share the diagnosis with his family during dinner, but instead of offering support, they ignore his words and continue complaining about their lives. Inu's heart breaks as he realizes how little his family values him. Jenny insists that Inu abandon the dog immediately. Feeling hopeless, Inu takes Nako far away and leaves it behind. However, as Inu walks away, he notices Nako running after him. Overwhelmed with guilt, Inu apologizes to the dog and decides to keep it with him, seeing Nako as the only being that truly cares about him. While resting in a park, Inu witnesses a sudden bright light in the sky, followed by a loud explosion that engulfs him. The next morning, Inu wakes up feeling different. To his surprise, he no longer needs his glasses to see. Nako is still by his side, and Inu decides to bring the dog back home, feeling a renewed sense of purpose despite his terminal illness. During breakfast, Inu drinks miso soup but suddenly feels extremely thirsty and drinks a lot of water. Later, in his room, he notices steam rising from his hands. As he investigates further, his right arm transforms into a futuristic weapon, and the soup he drank earlier is ejected from his body. In shock, Inu touches his face and discovers that the skin on his neck peels away, revealing wires and machinery underneath. Inu realizes that his body has undergone a drastic transformation, and he struggles to comprehend the implications. Meanwhile, a boy named Hiro, who studies in the same class as Mary, avoids school due to bullying. One day, Hiro demonstrates his newfound powers to his friend Choco, killing a bird midair with a finger gun gesture. Hiro then reveals that he has transformed into a superhero and shows Choco how he can manipulate objects with his powers. However, Hiro's growing fascination with his abilities begins to take a dark turn. Inu, on the other hand, continues struggling to understand his changes. He is fired from his job after his boss accuses him of being unreliable. Inu worries about his family's future but finds solace in Nako's unwavering loyalty. While walking home, he notices an injured pigeon and instinctively uses his powers to heal it. This moment helps Inu realize he has the ability to heal others, giving him a sense of purpose. Soon, Inyu hears a woman pleading for her child's life at a nearby hospital. Following the cries, Inyu finds a boy named Keta in a coma. Using his powers, Inyu diagnoses and heals the boy, astonishing the doctors and the boy's mother. Filled with joy for the first time in years, Inyu gains confidence in his newfound purpose and starts secretly helping others in need. Back at school, Hiro confronts bullies and uses his powers to intimidate them. However, his friend Chokil grows uneasy with Hiro's increasingly violent behavior. Hiro's anger escalates when he visits his estranged father and step-family, who reject him. Consumed by rage, Hiro later kills his neighbors in a fit of anger, crossing a line he cannot return from. While Inyu continues helping people, he encounters Hiro after one of Hiro's brutal murders. Hiro shoots Inyu and leaves him for dead, but Inyu miraculously survives and vows to stop Hiro, believing it is his duty to protect humanity from Hiro's destructive path. Hiro's killing spree continues, leading to a massive manhunt. The media hounds Hiro's mother, and overwhelmed by the pressure, she takes her own life. Enraged, Hiro tracks down online users who shared her harassment and kills them through their screens using his powers. His actions send shockwaves through the city, and fear spreads like wildfire. Meanwhile, Inyu trains with Chokil to prepare for a confrontation with Hiro. They discover that Inyu's weakness is sodium, as consuming miso soup caused his body to malfunction. Hiro's violent rampage escalates, and he targets a large crowd through digital screens. Inyu intervenes and tries to stop Hiro, but Hiro manages to overpower him, leaving Inyu severely injured. Hiro's killings continue, and he targets innocent civilians through screens in Tokyo. Inyu hacks into the broadcast and urges people to avoid screens, but Hiro retaliates by launching missiles at buildings and crowds. Inyu, determined to protect humanity,